Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 7 updates and spoilers. Happy Pie Day. Our house guest of the day is Sarah Williams. Sarah, thanks so much for the support. We really appreciate it and could not do this without you. So thank you. We think you're awesome. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so when we left off yesterday, it looked like Mackie had secured the votes to stay, or at least other people did all the work for him, pretty much. Even Adam was on board at one point to do what the pretty boys wanted and to vote out Kira. So Dane wants to keep Mackie around because he thinks that Mackie is way more likely to take a shot at Sam than Kira. And that's all he really cares about, right? He just really wants to get rid of Sam. But there's still some time before the vote, so guess what? It could flip yet again. And Dane is really feeling bad about lying to Kira because he's still playing along and acting like Kira might stay and like he doesn't know where the votes are. So it's still like very much up in the air. Or at least that's what he's trying to portray to Kira. Okay, so the feeds were down for a little bit yesterday while Big Brother gave them some stuff to memorize and study for the HOH competition. So I guess we can assume tonight will be some sort of questions competition. I don't know if it's true or false or like before and after or whatever. We'll see. But yesterday evening, some uncertainty about this week's vote crept back into the Pretty Boys Alliance. Surprise, surprise. So Anthony and Dane were chatting in the bathroom area, and Anthony's like, okay, so I confirmed with Mackie that I was going to vote to keep him, and then like 3 hours later, Mackie tells me that he mentioned me as someone that he would potentially put up on the block last week. What the hell is that? So I mean, he can't think that Mackie was actually planning on like taking him out, right? Because like why would he have told him? Doesn't make sense. But Anthony says about Mackie, are you effing R word? He said it like twice. Really? You're using the R word? Really? And Big Brother Canada was like, Anthony, Canada's watching. Watch your profanity. So, you know, watch your language. It's really messed up. And, whenever I hear that word, it just really makes me question what is wrong with the person saying it. It just, I don't get it. But anyway, Anthony says, and he said this phrase probably at least 20 times yesterday, if not more. He said, Mackie is begging me to politic for him and help him out, and then he's dropping my name. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was just a cover. And it was okay that he was dropping like Damien's name before to cover up for the fact that they actually want him to target Sam. But now that it's Anthony's name coming off, suddenly he's like so upset about it. Alright, so anyway, Anthony is also worried that Mackie is just going to be Este's puppet because it seems like Este has a lot of influence over him, and Dane even admitted like, yeah, she's got control there. So Anthony says, we can't play around with a puppet. So Dane is like, yeah, but keeping Kira is just going to strengthen Sam, and I really want Sam out. So then they're both claiming that they don't care either way who goes, which is definitely not true, but they keep saying it. And Anthony gets one last thing in there. He's like, I think we would have more control over Kira than we would Mackie. Alright, so then Big Brother gave the house guests a camera to take some pictures for a little while. They give them a nice ass DSLR. It is really nice. So Este was taking the lead with the photography there, getting some cool shots for everyone. And then back to the game. Sam and Adam were discussing the votes. And Adam is like, you know what? People are going to vote how Dane wants them to vote. So he says, if me, Anthony, and Mark are all voting the way that Dane wants, no one's going to go against that. Did he just, like, drop the 4-guy alliance? Because he pretty much did, right? Sam needs to freaking wake up and open her ears. So Sam thinks that it's ridiculous for people to want to keep Mackie. Yeah, it's ridiculous for them to want to keep Mackie, but for other people, it makes a lot of sense. So she's like, there must be some bigger picture that has to do with me and you. Yes, that is correct. So Adam's like, no, I don't think they're going against us. Not Dane, Mark, and Anthony. Wake up! Oh my god, he's basically saying I'm in an alliance with these three guys. He says somebody else might come after us, but they're not. So Sam is like, it's just ridiculous that we're letting the weakest people control the house right now. But Adam's like, well, this is what needs to happen. We need the 4 boys to sit up here in the HOH and talk. You know, it never happens. It's always like one or the other, but never all of us together. Come on! Oh my god, Sam! Does she just not care? Like, what is going on here? So anyway, Anthony and Adam were then campaigning to Dane that Mackie needs to go. They are getting ready for another flip here. So Dane is like, I just made a deal with Mackie that the 3 of us would be safe, so you have nothing to worry about. And Adam is like, well, Mackie just came to me and Sam and said that he would put you up on the block with Corey. He's talking to Dane, saying that. It's a cover. He would put up Sam. But he's not going to say that to Sam's face. I mean, he probably would, but he's trying to not say things like that to people's faces. So then Adam is like, why do you trust Mackie so much? Why do you want to keep him? And Dane is like, well, Mackie's going to take out Corey for us. That's who he's targeting. But Adam says, we don't need him to take out Corey. We can do that ourselves, and we'll have a much better chance of winning if Mackie is gone and we're going up against Kira. So he says, we're letting the weakest people run the house. Where did he hear that from? So then Dane is like, yeah, but Mackie doesn't even know how to play this game, which is true. And Adam says, well, we should send him home then. And Dane says, but we could just puppet him. You know, he's saying now that he's going to put up Corey and Damien. And Dane really likes that. So Anthony's like, you know what, we need to stop babying people. We got to make sure we keep control over this house and we avoid any of us boys going up on the block. So Adam is saying, we know that Kira's going to be loyal to us, and Kira is probably not going to win competitions anyway. Mackie would. So they decide that they want to bring Damien into this now that Damien's name is coming up as somebody that Mackie would put up. Yeah, because that's what Dane told him to say. So Dane goes against Damien, sends him in to talk to Adam, Anthony, and Mark. So they are like, Damien, guess what? Mackie is mentioning you as a potential nominee. But Damien's already in on this. He discussed it with Dane and Mackie. But he's playing along. He's like, oh my god, what? So then Adam is saying, oh, we can't afford to take that chance of one of the boys going up on the block. And he says, you know, if one of us is up against Corey and Corey wins the veto, then one of us could go. And that's just not cool. So they're all like, oh, Damien, we respect you and we have your back for now. But Anthony's like, so basically we're thinking of sending Mackie home. And Damien's like, yeah, that's great, but I already gave Mackie my word, and, you know, I don't really want to go back on my word. I got to think about this. So, meanwhile, Dane is talking to Kira outside, and now Dane knows that the meter is definitely going the other way and going back to Kira staying. So, he's trying to suck up to Kira a bit. Dane is sharing how Mackie is blowing up his own game. He's throwing out a lot of names. It's very confusing what his actual plans are. So Kira says, that's the definition of a wild card. You know who's not a wild card? Me. So, yeah, Dane is he's going through the votes, and he's like, yeah, you should have Chelsea, Sam, Adam, Mark, and Anthony all on board. That's 5. You need 6 to stay without a tiebreaker. So Dane says that he can also get Eddie and Damien. So Kira's very excited because, you know, there's light again. It's not all bleak like it was before. So Kira's like, I won't forget this. I promise you I have your back. And you know that Kira has offered the most insane deal. It's only grown with each passing day. So Kira's like, I'm going to keep you safe and never put you up for the whole season. If I win the power veto and you're up on the block, I'll use it on you. If, like, Chelsea wins HOH, I'm going to make sure that she doesn't put you up. Blah, blah, blah. So it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Dane is supposed to be able to help pick the second nominee. So they're promising him all these like wild things. It's insane. So anyway, then Damien and Dane chat alone, and Dane is like, Mackie is really effing up right now. I've been trying so hard to keep him, and then he's blowing things up. But honestly, Dane has had a huge hand in contributing to Mackie's mistakes. Dane is the one who's been already planning out Mackie's future HOH, which, like, who knows if he's even going to be there to compete in the next HOH, and, like, saying, Mackie's going to put up Corey and Sam, Damien, you might have to go up as replacement nominees. So, like, he's going way overboard here. And he was also telling Mackie, this is who you're putting up, but you need to lie and say that you're putting up these other people. So it's, like, a whole thing. But Dane is, like, telling Damien that Anthony, Mark, Adam, Sam, and Chelsea all want to work with them. So basically, they are changing up their alliance of 8, which they had with Kiki and Esty. They're getting rid of them and bringing in Damien. So now it's an alliance of 7 with the pretty much the same people. So Damien's like, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. And Dane says, we're pretty much in the middle right now, right? We can keep Mackie and go to war with Adam and his group, or we can stick with the big guns and just roll with it. So Damien's like, yeah, but like we know who Mackie's real target is, meaning Sam. So, you know, is that something that you just want to give up on now? But Dane is afraid to go against the guys. He's like, if we do that, we could be up on the block next against each other, and that would suck. So Dane is also scared that if Mackie gets wind that he may be leaving, he's going to spill the beans about Dane actually wanting Sam out. Ooh, that's not going to be a good look for Dane. So he's got to make sure that Mackie doesn't find out too soon, or it could be catastrophic for his game. So it's going to be kind of tough to hide that there was all this shady shit going on, because Mackie actually walked in multiple times while all of the boys were talking in the HOH room earlier. So they're going to have to maybe lie about that and say, oh, we're talking about getting rid of Kira. Yeah, that's why you kept kicking Mackie out. So from this conversation, it seems like Damien still wants to keep Mackie, but Dane is scared. He doesn't want to go against his boys. So he also doesn't want to reveal to Damien that he actually has a 4-person guy alliance going with those guys. So then, Anthony and Mackie were chatting, and Anthony brings out his line, I was running around politicking for you, and then you tell me that you're throwing my name out there. Like, what's the deal with that? Mackie's trying to explain it was taken out of context. He doesn't know how this game works, okay? So he was trying to follow the framework that was set up by Dane, because the way that Dane explained things to him this week, before he put Mackie up, he was like, I like you, blah, 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 everybody likes you, and that's why I'm putting you up, because you're so likable that you should be safe up there. So he was thinking, okay, I need to come up with a name to cover up that Sam is the actual target, and, you know, come up with a name that's believable of somebody that I would put up as a pawn. And he said, I chose you because everybody likes you, I think you're a great player, blah, blah, blah. So Anthony's like, you really messed up. Like, he's like, I honestly don't think that you were, like, trying to screw up, but you did. So then he's telling this story, and it's supposed to show that, like, every little detail is important, and any little detail in this game can really screw you up. So through this story, we get some insight into week 1 before the feeds were on. And it has to do with Laura, because he was saying that Laura slept facing one direction. I guess they may have shared a bed or something. So he was facing one direction, Laura was facing the other. And because Laura faced that direction when she slept, she saw that Sam was not in her own bed for one night or whatever. So then Laura spread around this rumor that Sam slept in the HOH room with Adam, and then when this got back to Sam decided that Laura was going. So apparently, I remember hearing a lot of people claiming that Sam was the one that flipped the votes for Laura to go. So it sounds like that's legit and that's what happened. And Anthony thinks that the rumor was probably true. And, you know, Sam probably did spend the night in the HOH with Adam. And honestly, I think it's true too. Because one of the very early conversations that I heard Sam and Adam have about their like relationship. I remember her mentioning something happening with them in the HOH room, so it was probably that night. But anyway, Anthony is trying to explain to Mackie how the game of Big Brother works, and Mackie just doesn't seem to get it. He's like, but this is not real life, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't get it. But later, Anthony updates Eddie, and he's like, yo, Mackie messed up, and he's probably going now, so just thought you should know that. Because he doesn't want Eddie to be, like, out of the loop. Okay. Also, Adam lets Sam and Chelsea know that Kira's staying. They're thrilled. They're all celebrating. Of course, Kira's celebrating with them, too. And the pretty boys at this point are all in agreement that Mackie is going. But Dane and Mark don't want to leave Kiki and Esty in the dark on this. So they plan on telling them like an hour or two before the vote that Mackie's going to be going so that they're not left out. Okay. What about Kaylin? Kaylin is yet again way out of the loop. When Anthony and Eddie were talking, Eddie asked if they should let Kaylin know. And Anthony said no. Let her go down with the ship. Damn! Okay, so Eddie did try to hint to Kaylin that things may have flipped and Mackie could be going now, but Kaylin was like, no. Super confident that Mackie will be staying. And she's been telling Mackie, you're gonna stay. Oh my god. Okay, so Eddie was super busy last night. He ended up making an alliance with Chelsea. They're called the Unseeables. And he also made an alliance with Dane called #Daddy. Okay, I mean, he's covering his bases, right? Can't fault him for that. I feel like he's actually in a really good spot right now, so that's exciting because I love Eddie. So then, today, there was some last-minute campaigning from the Mackie camp. Esty is trying to clean up Mackie's mess with Anthony, and she's telling him, Mackie's not actually targeting you. He made a mistake, okay? He does not know what he's doing. But there's no way that he was ever actually, like, coming after you. So Anthony is like, yeah, but he messed up, okay? He may not have meant to, but he did. And Esty is also arguing that Kira is a number for Adam, not for us. That's why Adam is campaigning so hard for Kira to stay. But at this point, Anthony is not budging. Okay, so then Mackie talked to Adam again, and this was really interesting because Mackie was saying that nothing has changed, you know, I'm still not targeting you, everything that we said before still stands, you know, the truce that they called. So Adam said something like, oh yeah, if you stay, I'm down for what we talked about too. And then Mackie's like, it's not going to be if, it's going to be unanimous for me to stay. What? Has he been talking to Kaylin? Because, like, that's not what's happening here. I don't know if he's just trying to manifest it or what. But then Mackie dropped a bomb on Adam, and he let him know that the whole house, or at least half of the house, wants Sam out. What? So Adam's like, it is what it is, you know? He says it would suck for her to go, don't get me wrong, but it is what it is. So then Adam agrees not to tell Sam about it because he doesn't want her freaking out. He says she's not fun when she's stressed. Wow! Okay, but Mackie says, yeah, my plan was to put up Corey and then someone that the house doesn't want around. Sam. So, again, Mackie ends his conversation by saying that it's going to be unanimous for him to stay. Okay. So then Adam talks to Sam and Chelsea after this, but he does not share what Mackie said about Sam being like everyone's target. But he does tell Sam, you have to win the next HOH. He says, we'll talk about it more after the eviction. Sam's response, I'm stressed now. And Adam's like, no, it's not a bad thing. But he says that he has some info that they can use, and he just doesn't want to say it right now. Alright, so the feeds have been down a lot today because they're all like getting ready for the show and whatnot. But unless something drastic happened while the feeds were down, looks like Mackie's going to be going by a lot. So I don't know if anybody's going to tell Kaylin. Are Kiki and Esty going to vote for him anyway? Because earlier they were saying that they would do that and they wanted to show their loyalty. But I don't know, when it comes down to it, are they really going to put themselves out there like that? Because that's just giving someone an easy out when they need to make nominations. But who do you guys want to win HOH? I want to see some, like, power changes here. I want to see the pretty boys freak out a bit. I think that'd be fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until next time, much love. I just wanted to mention too, for tomorrow's spoiler, I'm not sure if we're going to have one. I have like a thing tomorrow, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be done with it in the morning or if it's going to be like an all-day thing, like into the evening. So if I'm back tomorrow morning, there will still be a spoiler as usual. If it is like an all-day thing, then don't stay up waiting for it, because we're just going to do a super duper extra long, all the info will be in Saturday's spoiler. So just a heads up, because I know some of you guys are like, I waited until I watched the video to go to bed. So I don't want you waiting all night, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. So anyway, I will maybe see you guys tomorrow.